Week 18 starts. Let's take a look at what we need to pay attention to streaming in because it's a very low volume day. There are 4 games on. We can take advantage as we head towards the fantasy playoffs. Michael Bolton, massive advantage taker.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and maybe I need to be nicer. Maybe I need to kiss someone's ass. I don't know what it is. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get it. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. $150 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms. Go and hit the thumbs up. I know you have, so thanks for that. Thanks for ringing the bell. Thanks for subscribing as well. Operation 80K. Not sure we're going to hit it this season, but hey, you never know. So if you haven't subscribed, let's try and get to 80,000 before the end of this season. Let's talk Monday. The beginning of Week 18 might be your final regular season week. We talked in the waiver wire show earlier today about Trae Young's injury. They said reevaluate in 4 weeks on that. So that's a drop in nearly every spot. It's a drop if you end March 24th easily. It's probably a drop if you end March 31st. And it might be a drop if you end April 7th. I do think there is a chance that this pushes well into April. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully he's back. But yeah, and hopefully, well, if he's not, hopefully they do give minutes to Kobe Buffkin and not Garrison Matthews or Patty Mills. Let's talk about what we need to talk about. As I said, there are 4 games on, so we'll talk about what's on our radar, what we're watching for, and things that we can do and stream in. The first game is the Toronto Raptors, taking on the Indiana Pacers in Indiana. This is the Pacers on a back-to-back. Both of these teams have identical schedules for Week 18, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and if you watched the Week 18 preview show earlier yesterday, you know that is perfect because that avoids all of the high-volume days, which is one. Why can't I speak? They don't play on Tuesdays, what I'm trying to say. So 4 quality games for both of these teams, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. At the moment, RJ Barrett is listed probable with his knee problem, and Aaron Nesmith is out on Sunday. I don't know that he'll be available on Monday. I'm going to currently list him as questionable. Maybe he plays. We will find out. Jalen Smith is allegedly available on Sunday. We've seen how that goes in the past. So I haven't put him on this injury report, but he could also obviously pop up. For the Raptors, Kelly Olynyk to me, how many minutes, does he get next to Jakob Poeltl? If the answer is 0, that decreases value. But then how many minutes does he get in general? Because 23, while Poeltl gets 25, is enough. 17 is not. And last game he got 22. So he's right there. 22 is enough for Kelly Olynyk. Well, 23 is probably what we want. 22 is okay. And with a good schedule, I'm good with it. So Olynyk's the really good streamer there in Toronto, but you do have other options like Gaz Trent. You got Bruce Brown. We're not fully ready to unleash Dick, but that will happen at some point later. For the Pacers, Andy Nembhard just continues to be ridiculously under-rostered. You've got 4 quality games for the Pacers this week. You've got him coming in on the Sunday, Monday back-to-back, which is too late for you to add him now for Sunday. But he is ridiculously under-rostered with the injuries they have at the moment, and just the fact that he's starting. He's not great, but there is immense value in Andy Nembhard for this upcoming week. The second game we take a look at here, we're going with the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks. The Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, Quentin Grimes, Ryan Archer-Jacquino, Evan Fournier, DeAndre Jordan back in the day, revenge games. Remember when the Knicks traded DeAndre Jordan here? It was the Knicks that traded him here. Was it? Now I'm lost my mind. I don't know. Who cares? Pistons, Knicks. The Pistons go Monday, Tuesday, so they've got a back-to-back. And then Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, the high-volume day, obviously. The Knicks also go the Monday, Tuesday, back-to-back. Tuesday being the high-volume day. And then they play Thursday, Sunday. So both teams with 3 quality games coming up for the week. Quite a few injuries here. Marcus Sasser has already been ruled out with his knee injury. That does help Quentin Grimes. Now, the thing we got to watch here is this is a loaded part of the Pistons schedule. Does Cade Cunningham did play their last back-to-back coming out of the break, Thursday, Friday. Does he play both here? I think he'll be somewhat limited in terms of minutes, 31 or so. And the other thing to watch is Quentin Grimes coming back from his knee injury. Does he play both games of the back-to-back? I would imagine that Grimey plays this one, and if he's going to sit, he sits on Tuesday. Stewart is out. This is his final games to suspension, so Isaiah Stewart will return on Tuesday. No interest in adding him. Sasser is out here. And then for the Knicks, it's Randall, it's Anunoby, it's Robinson. I'm still expecting Robinson in April. Randall, maybe a week or so away, mid-March. And Anunoby, probably getting that spot as well, but they're not going to come back. For this one, in terms of what we want to watch in Detroit, we do want to see Asar Thompson because we saw as soon as Monty had any other option, which was Quentin Grimes, he moved away from Asar. And we talked about this a lot on the trade deadline show, is not trusting Monty Williams and how he would use things like Grimes, how he would use Fontecchio, how he would use Stewart without even expecting that he'd play Shake Milton, Troy Brown, and Evan Fournier. I would hold Thompson, but if he gets 20 minutes again here, that makes it impossible almost. Well, that's not true because you hold on Tuesday because there's the chance that Grimes sits, but those minutes are ridiculous. For the Knicks, the big sneeze, Precious Achiuwa, wasn't so good on the game on Saturday. I still maintain that I don't think he's very good, and when these players return, he will be droppable. But we just keep watching to see how the form looks, how the minutes look. He played only 34, 35 minutes last game as Hartenstein pushed up. That's something to pay attention to. I think Simone Fontecchio is probably the best stream for the Pistons. We're using a 50% cutoff here. Again, as I detailed on yesterday's show, I changed some of the cutoff numbers as we get to this part of the season where more teams become dead. Some of these cutoff numbers become more important to bump back up. So Fontecchio ahead of Grimes. And then for the Knicks, it probably is Burks, assuming that guys like Bogdanovic and Achiuwa are rostered and Hart. But, Bogdanovic isn't a must-roster guy, but he is in a lot of spots, and he'd be the stream over Alec Burks. Alec Burks in this situation. Today's episode is brought to you by Grammarly. Grammarly is your AI writing partner to help you communicate more effectively and efficiently so that you can make a bigger impact at work. I use Grammarly every day, and I have for years and years and years. I used to do a lot more writing back in the day. I don't do as much now, but I used to do tons of writing, and I use Grammarly for everything that I wrote, but I still use it now. I use it when I'm writing player notes. I use it when I'm writing articles on Basketball Monster. I'm using it when I'm doing YouTube descriptions, audio descriptions, whatever I need to write. Grammarly is always there. Preloaders, extensions in my browser, standalone app, it is always there. Grammarly is able to come in and help you with ideas. It helps you with the tone of your emails or work reports. It helps you with grammar, regional specific grammar, helps you with spelling. It is also the gold standard in responsible AI. It's got 14 years of experience. That sounds like about as long as I've been using Grammarly, to be honest. And just about every IT certification under the sun. Grammarly is a secure AI writing partner. It doesn't write for you, but it's a writing partner that helps your team make their point and move faster. Make a bigger impact at work with Grammarly. Sign up and download for free at grammarly.com/podcast. That is grammarly.com/podcast. Easier said, done. Okay, so that's the first two games of the day done. Let's move into the next one. We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets and the old mates, the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies, some might call them the Memphis question marks. Me? Maybe. Who knows? Because we just never know what we're going to get out of the Grizzlies. So, schedule for the Nets, Monday, Tuesday, start off with a back-to-back, Thursday, Saturday, that means 3 quality games. The Grizzlies, with 4 games for the week, a perfect 4 quality game schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. That Friday, Saturday back-to-back for the Grizzlies, there's only 2 teams that has the back-to-back Friday, Saturday. It's the Grizzlies and the Blazers, and they play each other. So it's Memphis-Portland on Friday, it's Memphis-Portland on Saturday. And I think there might be some absolutely insane tanking lineups chucked out in those ones. Just watch that. Injuries. I'm listing Ben Simmons as doubtful. He left the game on Saturday with a leg injury, which was a knee injury, which was also then changed back to a leg injury, which he is or is not getting imaging for. But because it's the first game of a back-to-back, Ben's already dealing with the back and the hip stuff. And just quietly, if you want to shit on Ben Simmons, whatever, that's okay. Again, we can all say what we want, but calling him weak for having mental health problems is too far. But also saying he faked a back injury. You don't fake a back injury and have surgery on it. That's just not what happens. Right? You can be like he's soft or whatever. I can't judge that. You actually can't judge that. You can have an opinion. You can't tell me that he faked a back injury because you don't get your back cut open for a fake injury. That's not what happens. Well, show me the proof you got cut open. All right, if that's how you want to go, like, as I'm arguing with myself. Anyway, Simmons is doubtful. He's not going to play on Monday. There's almost no way. With a leg injury on the back-to-back, it makes no sense for him to play this game. So there. Bain will be out. Smart will be out. Pippen will be out. I don't know if Brandon Clark's coming back. We've heard nothing at all about him. And John Conchar, Lil John, he's listed questionable in this one. On the net side, Dennis Schroeder. Now, he's been putrid because, let's be fair, not very good. But with Simmons out, I expect that he starts. So that means that the reprieve for Schroeder is here. If Simmons is healthy, Schroeder's not a 12-team guy. But Simmons isn't, so Schroeder is worth looking at. And on the Grizzlies side, Greg Jackson. We heard Taylor Jenkins said he's going to move into more of a primary creator role. Again, the way that happens is Jaren doesn't play. So just watch for that. Let's see if GG can maintain efficiency. Let's see what else he does apart from scoring. In terms of streams, probably Day'Ron Sharp, especially with Simmons out, because you'll get like 32 Claxton, 16 Sharp. You'll get no minutes of Simmons at center, although Kevin Ollie's not a fan of that anyway. But Sharp's an interesting enough stream. You could look at a Dorian Finney-Smith. If Schroeder's available, obviously we go that way. And then for the Grizzlies, like it's a gigantic who knows. I've put Jordan Goodwin there because if they say that he is starting, then yeah, we're going that way. No Jacob Gilead, obviously. And the pattern has been Derrick Rose plays one game, sits one game, plays one game, sits one game. He played the last game, Derrick Rose. So does that mean that Rose sits in this one and Goodwin starts? Do they go back to Kennard at starting? I don't know. That is why they are the Memphis question marks, because we have no idea at all. None. We don't know. So I put Jordan Goodwin there, but your guess is as good as mine until we hear the information from the team with a starting lineup. The last game of the day is the Miami Heat and the Sacramento Kings. The Heat go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so they play the high-volume Tuesday, so 3 quality games. The Kings don't play on the weekend, but they do start off, they've got the Sunday game to begin with, and they go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 3 quality games to begin this week. Really good early week scheduled. Now, Jimmy Butler is suspended. I wrote that Terry Rozier is out, but the Heat, in between me doing this and recording this, have upgraded him or are likely to upgrade him to questionable. That is what the actual tweet said. If I go and have a look at it, I think it was from Ira Winderman, who said, he says, it looks like Terry Rozier will be upgraded later and he'll be questionable for Monday in Sacramento. So not official, but that's what Ira Winderman is saying. The bad news is that Tyler Hero is listed questionable as well, getting an MRI on Sunday. He hasn't been ruled out on Monday, but that feels like there's no chance that he's going to play in that one. Josh Richardson remains out, and Nikola Jovic also got suspended, as does Tom Bryant, who no one cares about. And for the Kings, Sasha Vezenkov is out with that ankle problem for multiple weeks. For the Heat, I do want to see Jaime Jaquez, because if he can't do anything in this one, with no Butler, no Richardson, no Jovic, he's going to have to start, I would guess, him and Martin at the 3-4, or do they go back to Highsmith? Because obviously, Jaquez has been dreadful for 4 or 5 weeks. But this is a chance to see what he can bring. Rozier returning is interesting. I think if Rozier is back, and I don't think that Hero will play, so Rozier probably starts next to Robinson, which will make it interesting. So Robinson is the stream dunk. I would stream him over Caleb. I would stream him over, as Obi loses his mind, I would stream Duncan Robinson over Caleb Martin, as I was saying. Duncan Robinson worth looking at as a stream. I imagine that he starts next to Rozier, but what would they do if Rozier and Hero both play? Is it Rozier, Hero, Jaquez, Martin, Highsmith? Don't know. There's a lot of questions because obviously Jovic isn't there also. So a lot of different things can happen, but I do like Robinson as the streamer. And for the Sacramento Kings, I like the pencil Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. But there's obviously a pretty significant risk of this game being very, very strange with guys in, guys out, suspensions, Kings on a back-to-back. Who knows what happens? It could be a completely wild game. Today's episode is brought to you by Stitch Fix. Yes, Stitch Fix. You know that feeling you get when you look in the mirror and you do the thing, you lick your finger, put it on your body, the sizzle, whoo, feel good, don't you? Well, that's what Stitch Fix can bring you, that level of confidence. You easily upgrade your wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new, on-trend favorites that will work for you. You give them your size, your style preferences, your budget preference as well. You get a box and there's 5 different things in there. You order that box when you want. You don't not on a subscription plan that you need to worry about. It comes every month. You just order it when you want. They put those things together. You try them on. They're going to look good because the stylist knows what they're doing. But if something doesn't quite fit or doesn't quite suit what you want, or you don't quite have that confidence brought out yet to wear the items they bring, well, you can send it back. So easy. Shipping returns, and exchanges are always free with Stitch Fix. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started today at stitchfix.com/lockedon. That is stitchfix.com/lockedon. stitchfix.com/lockedon. So that's the 4 games done. So let's take a look at if you do have ability to stream on Tuesday with the 11 games on. Who's got the 2-for-1 options here that are going to be worth looking at? We are looking at the Heat, of course. Their values are going to be really intriguing. So if Rozier does play Monday, does he play Tuesday? If Hero plays Monday with a sore knee, does he play Tuesday? Butler will return. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but again, we've got a level of constant from some guys like Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, and Jaime Jaquez. They're going to play both of those games unless an injury happens Monday, and there's going to be players that are going to be out on at least 1 or 2 of those days. So there is value in both of those players if you've got the room on Tuesday, of course. I've got Simone Fontecchio there in Detroit, probably have him ahead of Quentin Grimes, although things could get really messy for the game on Tuesday when Stewart returns. I did put Grimes on this list. I don't know that Grimes plays on Tuesday. He might not play coming off the knee injury. Sasa might return, so that's a little bit iffy. Fontecchio should be okay, but then how does it mesh with Stewart? We don't know yet. And is Stewart's ankle actually healed? We just assume at this point that once Stewart's suspension is over, he's ready to go, but we don't know because he had an ankle injury. So is that ankle injury actually healed or not? Did the Pistons pull a shifty on us or on the NBA and list Stewart as questionable with the ankle problem? Because the NBA won't suspend someone when they're injured. So is Stewart actually still injured and they just said get the suspension out of the way while he still recovers? I don't know. We'll find out. It's the Pistons, so any sort of underhand, weird jobs for the boys, let's not do things based on how it should be done, is always a possibility. And then I've got Day'Ron Sharpe there for the Nets. Obviously, Dennis Schroeder, if he's available, maybe Dennis Smith as well, depending on the status of Big Benjamin Simmons. If we get chunky here Monday through Friday, there is one of those days, a high volume day, that is Tuesday. So who gives us the best low volume stream strategy? We're looking obviously to Toronto. So Kelly Olynyk, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've got Andy Nembhard there, who's just available everywhere and really good schedule. Kevin Huerter goes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're not big must roster Kevin Huerter guys, but good value here. Gaz Trent and Bruce Brown on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Even if they don't play 30 minutes, 26 a night for 3 quality games over 5 days is okay. And that's just generating value, generating volume while limiting your waiver ads. And then, again, at the bottom, well, I don't know. What do you do with Memphis? They've got a great schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then the Friday, Saturday back-to-back. But who plays? Jaren, Santi, Vince, Kennard, Conchar, all at risk of sitting. Derrick Rose. Then what happens with Goodwin? What happens with Jemison? What happens with Zaire Williams, who's playing well at the moment? I don't know. It's literally impossible. So I could say, yeah, add a Grizzlies for this great chunk schedule. But I don't know. GG's probably the guy who's available in like 63% that you feel the best about adding because you think he's going to at least play those games. Everyone else, I've got honestly no idea what's going to happen. In terms of streams of the day, I bumped a few of those roster percentage categories up slightly higher, as I detailed earlier. So 10-teamers, I am going with Precious Achiuwa. He should just be rostered in general, but he is available in 40+% of leagues, so we can go with him. 12 teams, it is Duncan Robinson. Again, if Hero and Rozier both play, it does limit him a little bit, but we definitely have no Jovic and we definitely have no Butler, and we might not have Rozier or Hero or both or one or whatever. For 14-teamers, it's got to be Andy Nembhard, I think. And for 16-teamers, it's got to be his teammate, TJ McConnell, who can put up numbers in limited minutes, as we've seen. A Yahoo point streamer, we are going with GG Jackson. And for ESPN points, I think Duncan Robinson looks probably the best there. These guys are all 50% rostered or lower. For 10-team streaming options, the 6 names I've got here, again, look at them in any league. Just depends if they're available for you. Achiuwa, Robinson, Andrew Nembhard, Caleb Martin, Kevin Huerter, and Hottest 100 legend Jaime Jaquez Jr. For 12-teamers, we go to Kelly Olynyk. Just think there's really good value in him at the moment. We're still watching the value, but he's really got value, and I think he should be on a roster. Aaron Nesmith, if he plays, would love that. He'd be a 10-team streamer. I put him in the 12s because I just don't know whether he plays. Jordy Goodwin, again, who knows? If he's starting, yeah, we're absolutely streaming him in. Kevin Love, I assume he's going to get some pretty good minutes. Simone Fontecchio, and then Santi Aldama. Again, Grizzlies, who knows? We don't know. For the deep leagues, Luke Kennard might start, might play 18 minutes, might sit. Your guess is good as mine. Day'Ron Sharpe, Dorian Finney-Smith, some extra value for those guys in Brooklyn. Finney-Smith played 30 minutes last game. That's worth monitoring. Timothy John McConnell, great deep league stream. Jalen Smith is back and playing on Sunday. If he's available on Monday, absolutely, we look at him as a streamer, but they just might say he's back sore again and Isaiah Jackson gets those minutes. And then lastly, Quentin Grimes, who you might move into a 12-team stream. I don't feel super confident about that, but he might be in that position. Lastly, we look at points leagues. GG leads the list there. GG Jackson in Memphis, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Andrew Nembhard, and then the last two at the bottom would be higher up if we knew they were playing, and that is Aaron Nesmith and Jordan Goodwin. And that brings us to the end of the daily look ahead show for Monday with 4 games on. Streaming options, you've got to start to look at where you are in your season, where you are in your standings. Do you need to go ham on streaming, or you can ease up on it? That's really going to depend on you, and I can't answer that for you. But we're in the part of the season where decisions need to be made. And one of your decisions you can make right now is to thumb up this video and subscribe, notification bell so you never miss it when an episode goes live. Guys, thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.